Exactly. Oh, man. Well, this is the upper bracket final. This is the earlier monthly melee. Gibraltar is going to be the battlefield here. It's going to be Cloud9 taking up the defense mantle first.
Yeah, defensively, looks like it is, pretty similar to what we see in a lot of defenses here. I'm going to kind of take eyes on where Wolf wants to set up. I think if you're going to run the Ana here, it's probably going to be on the high ground, not necessarily a server room defense. It's going to be interesting to see if they run short for with the supports up top, too, as kind of the bodyguard. It's something they've done before, and if you don't really have the kind of the dive composition to get up there and deal with this, where they're setting up on supports, and they are setting all of them up on high ground at the bodyguard, it does become hard to break in, but it looks like Liquid wants to run pretty standard and just force them off the high ground by just putting constant pressure on the payload.
The nice thing about Liquid here, where we haven't seen a lot of teams run it as of late, they're not going with the Hanzo, they're going a little bit more tried and true. For all their pickoff power, they're putting their hopes and dreams in ID. And why not? ID definitely plays a good Roadhog, can get those early pickoffs, but I think Liquid, more than anything else, just wanting to go for a little bit more of consistency.
Yeah, they're running all of these tanks, so like I was reading some threads and people did not know that Rafa had come from Quake and was starting to play Overwatch, so people wanted to see him onto Pharaoh, but they're not really running those kind of Quake-esque characters. I mean, I guess Rafa is going to run the Zarya, so maybe a little bit of lightning gun action coming in, but they're just going to take top very easily as the defense is in this very passive position.
And this is pretty much part of the course here for Gibraltar, where teams used to do a little bit more poker layout and back out, but then they realized that they're still exposing themselves to early Roadhog hooks, so they're going to make ID work for it if he goes in, but Kai doing a great job of building up the charge early on, laying in pretty surprising Zarya poke here. Trying to build the Graviton as quick as possible, as both teams just trading back and forth. ID still looking for that on-point first pick.
Well, the fight does break out as the charge comes in through server room, but Rafa is the one who punishes Kib, or Rib rather, for that push, and Mendo very far out of position, does have to get the bubble to get helped out. They do sleep Minstrel, but they wake up. So far, no kills for the side of Cloud9. They're going to boost in.
ID has been goose-egged right now, not really getting a whole lot hook-wise. AZK, though, able to get to that backline, takes down Kai with that nano boost. And even without the Roadhog contribution here, Liquid's still getting the pickoffs they need. They're pushing C9 back, and C9 having trouble reestablishing, but here comes Mendo, coming at the nano boost. Death Blossom takes down AZK, doing damage to the backline, will survive the hook from ID, and it's at the last moment, C9 able to find their second win, and they push Liquid back after what was a very grindy push coming out from Liquid.
Yeah, it's not even just the damage that you get with the Ana ultimate on your boost. It's you're unkillable for the most part. That hook combination should mostly eliminate heroes. He's able to live through it. The survivability cannot be underestimated, which is why Reaper with that Ana boost is so powerful, because one of the only ways to stop Reaper overall, when he's doing all of his Reaper things, Death Blossoms, is just kill him. And you can't kill him when Ana's boosting him.
Indeed, and you take a look at the back right now. Surefour more than willing to just sit here in the back with Ana. Almost a crossfire defense on his own, but hang on. Surefour, he's going for opportunity right now. He's going off on what could be... Right now, he had to get off there just because of the rotation. He's like, I think they're going over there, and he was right. So he's going to back off. It was good calls there from C9 to avoid that rotation coming in from Liquid.
PZK just
and now the offense and defense almost changing positions right now, but Mendo, first pick off on the ID. ID still having some trouble on those hooks. And Surefour not going to get what he's looking for. Rafa taking him out. No Deadeye value there. And it's 5 kills here from Liquid, so their sneaky flank around the side is going to work out, and they should be able to take this point.
We always talk about like all of this absolute FPS god play that Liquid has on this roster, but at the end of the day, it's the old steadies who've been on this team forever in Mez and AZK. You know exactly what you're going to get out of them. Rock solid all the way through. Mezzer able to clean up that fight for them with his Ana boost on the Reinhardt, making big plays. AZK again shows up on his Reaper. So yes, they have so much talent. Everyone on this team has histories in different games, but for the most part, when they need plays, it's been those two who are the most steady players on this team.
Speaking of momentum going into the next fight, you take a look here at Team Liquid. They have Sound Barrier, they have Earthshatter, Graviton, and Death Blossom all at the ready. Rafa just looking to set up his team here. Wholehog going to be breaking down the Reinhardt shield, leading the way. Counter Graviton, though, in here from the defense, and C9 not falling just yet. Mendo in the backline. Death Blossom out with the nano boost. Ends up taking out 2, including his Reaper counterpart on the other side. Elbows Mezar in the face. and it will be C9 winning this ult showdown. Liquid was in a great position there, and they just weren't able to capitalize, and now, as a result, C9 might be bunkering in for a very long hanger defense.
Yeah, it started off pretty decent for Liquid. They got a couple kills. Your Shatter was nice, but Mendo again just gets that boost, gets the Death Blossom going, able to take down 3 there single-handedly, bringing him back as the Reaper. Right now, most of the ults were used in that last engagement, so it's only Rib with an Earth Shatter up to Hang's almost there, though, so an Ana boost for Liquid could be incoming.
Rib right now was on the high ground, drops down, is definitely looking for the Earth Shatter, but can't really force it, but he's going to go for it anyways. Only knocks down Rafa in the back. And here comes C9 trying to capitalize on that. Sound Barrier going to stymie them, and the counter engage right now coming in from the side of Liquid.
Yeah, I did force out the Sound Barrier at the very least with that Earth Shatter, so that's okay. They don't get a ton from that charge onto their Reaper. It's been bloodless for a while.
It was bloodless for a long time. AID able to save AZK there from that charge. And I'll note, by the way, ID is on the McCree now, swapped off the Roadhog, didn't like what he was getting. Still kind of bloodless on both sides, even though Liquid is getting a little bit more of the momentum here. Both teams being very cautious about giving up picks. Mendo going to the back line, but going to get slept immediately. Doesn't get what he's looking for. Still in and around just because of that extra durability, though, as C9 comes with the defensive Graviton.
Yeah, they're getting the kills now, too, as Mendo looks to clean up, but is Kai actually using the finishers on a couple of people as well. The deep dive in from this tank, but Rib's not getting punished for it as Kai's got his back, gets a shield. They do kill up on the chase, so a bit of a junk rush, though, as Liquid's going to have most of their ultimates up for this next push, but it's getting down to probably their last push. Maybe you just wait even a little bit longer and try to get it with a Sound Barrier, because they have 3 heroes who are 20% away.
This is the final attempt coming out for Liquid. They need to get through second on this push. There is no other alternative. Minstrel, though, doesn't have the Sound Barrier up just yet. ID getting picked off. And this is a rough go right now for the side of Liquid. They're going to have to run into this 5v6. AZK going up to disproportionately carry. Nano boost up on him, going to the back line. Death Blossoming all the while. Takes down Kai. But that's all he gets off that. That's a heavy contribution just to take down Kai, and C9 still has outs here for defending this as Surefour in over the top, has Deadeye at the ready. Now what is he gonna do? Is he gonna fight ID in the one-on-one or look to take out people down below? I think, take a look at Liquid here, they're more than content to just back out and regroup, not get the full wipe, and try and maybe get another 6v6 in before it is all said and done.
Yeah, they are going to have one last fight here, this time with the Sound Barrier instead. And yeah, earlier that target selection to try to take down Kai with the Death Blossom was strange, to say the least. Both Earth Shatters come down.
Rib, nice Earth Shatter knocking down 2 to start things off. Mendo following through on that into the back line. Death Blossom out while he's in the Graviton, still takes out 2, but lack of mobility, not a factor for him there. As C9 going the hold right here in the hanger phase. And Hex, I gotta say, if there was a moment where this game was really won, where Liquid lost a great opportunity, is when you had both teams ultimates versus ultimates right in the middle, where Liquid had just capped first. The fact that they lost that fight, the fact that C9 was able to win there, is really what told the story of this game.
I would agree. There was also the moment where they had everything going and probably about a minute or 2 minutes left, and they lost their McCree on the entry, and that just really slows them down. McCree's not going to be able to reinforce quickly, so like they took too much damage and took deaths before they even wanted to fight a couple of those times too. So pretty easy win condition right now for Cloud9. Yellow box of victory, just shy of the shuttle phase of the game. So if you're Liquid, you may be trying to just bank on we need a first point hold, which is not unheard of on Gibraltar.
No, it's not unheard of at all. We've seen teams hold there plenty of time, but you gotta think the way C9 is playing right now, not only do they have the momentum in this matchup, I just feel like they have the momentum mentally as well. They've been playing so much better from today compared to yesterday. I think just it's more time with this roster that they're trying out. Remember, disclaimer to all those who are watching, this is not the final new C9 roster. Kai's been really clear on that. They are trying out these 3 players, but I gotta say, I'd be really surprised if Rib wasn't with them in the long term, if he enjoys playing with them. He's been doing great. Yeah. I think it's more questionable with Mendo and Wolf. It's not even based on their gameplay, it's just a matter of, are they going to gel with the rest of the team? Will they get along? But if they do get along, this could be the beginning of something really promising for C9.
I completely agree, and I mean even in a smaller scale, yesterday they got better game to game. Like it is really, you can notice that they're getting better. Their calls are cleaner, their communication is crisper game to game as it goes on. So they are leveling up at the same time. And I gotta say, just even the sets tonight, Mendo's Reaper has been the best Reaper we've seen the last couple days. He's getting more value out of it than anyone else. I mean, you look back, and Shadowburn did not have the best games on Reaper. AZK with a questionable Death Blossom trying to just take out Zarya, which is maybe not the best target there either. So Mendo's Reaper has been great for them, and in this current meta where Reaper is that important, he's been great on it. So they're going to run an offensive Hanzo here though, but they are still going to run a Reaper. This time it's Short4.
Yep, Short4 will be on the Reaper, and I think this is the case where a lot of times teams want to run a Reaper no matter what. Yeah. And the other DPS spot, of course, being taken up by this Hanzo. So Mendo going to be playing the Hanzo roulette. Will he get the early pickoff that he is looking for? You'll find out here in just a moment, as he does land that early headshot on the Zarya. So Mendo starting out the poke game pretty well, moving around the left side, and again, he's just looking for that good scatter arrow, but he's going to get met by the sleep dart instead. So he's had this for a little while, and Liquid pushing the advantage. They have the Mei wall. They go right in the C9, and Rafa getting first blood in this game, right on the rib, leading the way. What a great shot calling from Liquid to go right in on this. They have to be careful not to overextend, but they've bought themselves a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, I thought they could have got a little bit more. There was a couple of nice freezes there, not necessarily the follow-up, but the Mei play has been good so far. They just needs to be a little more coordinated on target focusing as well, but Short4 is coming in. They are going to be full force now. Mendo just kind of left alone to his own devices up top. They're going to have to deal with it. AZK coming in, though.
AZK is moving in, nano boost on him, and C9 doing a great job of not dying to this. He's running around, super electrified, doesn't get what he's looking for, and here comes the Graviton from Kai. Short4 walking up, and the Graviton, or the Dragon Strike is in. The Dragon is sated. Mendo with the triple kill, 4 follow through there. And C9 with that combo, they're getting by their way directly into the hangar phase.
I guess Mendo Mez got stuck inside a wall at some point in time. Some stranger things happening there. As Rib goes for the Earth Shatter, does not connect with it, but now it is just a bloodbath. Very brawly down there, but Short4 gets the boost, looking for the cleanup as they've gotten a couple kills. Only AZK with a kill for the side of Liquid, and they are getting rolled over right now. However, they do have like one last fight to stall this out, and they're going to have ult advantage. Liquid needs to show up on defense, otherwise this map's over.
And as you see, Liquid is coming right back in. They do have the Mei Blizzard at the very least, and a Sound Barrier, so they have a lot of ways of stalling this out. Nice wall coming in from ID, the split off both Short4 and Rib. They don't have to follow through on it, though. Here we go, Sound Barrier coming out here. ID still holding on to Blizzard because C9, they haven't committed to the point just yet. But here comes the Blizzard, it's coming in. He's just looking for Rib. Rib, no way out of that. First pick off on the fight to the side of Liquid. And Liquid grinding this out. They should be able to push back C9, but C9 has 4 minutes hex to bring this through. That's a long time to defend.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit like a minute ago about how their target selection might be just need to be more coordinated, and it's actually not even Liquid's fault. Every time they focus a target, Kai pops around the corner and gives them an allied shield. It has been every single fight. They solo Earth-Shattered Mendo and got him on the ground, didn't kill him because Kai just popped around, yeah, saved him with an allied shield, and here comes the Death Blossom on the side too. So it is back and forth 5v5 right now.
AZK just melted down by Kai. Kai having none of AZK's shenanigans. Mendo able to get pick off on the backline, but here comes Rafa! The Graviton and self-fall through. A 4K for Rafa to clean that up in a situation where Liquid was looking kind of beaten there. The early picks did not go in their favor, but Rafa says, you know what? I'm going to be my own hero with my own ultimate. So big plays from Rafa to keep Team Liquid in it.
Yeah, the Fire Strike snipe on the way out too. There's something so satisfying about watching long-distance Fire Strikes kill people. Maybe it's the ragdoll animations at the end, but they are going to come in. Here comes another Wolf. It seems like Mendo's had one up every single fight.
He is the master of wolves right now, but Liquid, they take down Rib early on. Rafa, the counter melting, takes down Kai here, and Rafa been having himself a good last 2 fights. Wolf perhaps going to fall here, depending on how far Liquid wants to fall through, and they will get that extra pick. And take a look, Rafa, 30% away from new Graviton. 2 minutes, 45 seconds left here for C9. They still have a lot of time, but Liquid definitely settling into a good groove.
And they found their feet. They're stabilizing a little bit. So much so that there's going to be some switch-ups here on this Cloud9 offense. Mendo's going to come up on the Pharah, but not supported by Mercy. So it's going to be on Wolf to use that single target healing, keep him alive. But I do like to try to take the high ground and bully them off, at least with a concussion blast or the like.
Mendo is going up over the top, and they're right, there's no McCree or anything here that's really going to give him trouble. I actually would have liked to see a switch up earlier, but here comes C9. Sound barrier on the ready. They're going to be met, though, by Rafa's Graviton. It keeps them in the corner, and they're going to get mopped up once more. Rafa and AZK going in. The sound barrier not doing enough to protect them. And what a last few fights from Rafa, still piling it in. Good Graviton that last fight, in C9 now down to their final 2 minutes, so they came in just swaggering with all sorts of time, but now they're really on the hot seat.
I like what Liquid is doing. They're changing the pacing of this fight. They're deciding when ultimates are cast on both sides. The jump into the backline by, they had a Winston player momentarily, jumped into the backline, followed up with Rafa over there too, forced out that sound barrier in a bad position, able to clean it up afterwards too, so they're not letting things happen to them, they're making things happen.
All right, well, here comes Liquid once more, rushing the C9. Surefour, though, has gotten his way to the back line, holding on to Death Blossom, taking the long way around, going to take it down to Hang. He's lost 3 teammates already, though, so I don't know if he wants to blow this here. I think he's just going to go to the top, wait a little bit. Kaikai's going to have Graviton for the next fight, so C9 saving a lot of ults for this next fight. And you look at it, this is definitely their window, Hex. This is going to be their best opportunity to win this map.
They should win this fight by all rights. They're going to have everything. They're going to have Resurrection, so they're going to have 2 shots at it. They already have people in on the entry, both TPS already on the shuttle. This should be a fight that Cloud9 wins. They've been setting up for it.
Well, let's take a look at the Hang. Is the Hang going to land a good sleep dart here? He does land the nade onto his team that's stuck in the Graviton, but Mendo coming in over the top, takes down 2. Surefour dropping off, grabbing another 2 with the aid of Kaikai, and this should be it. The ult advantage is too much for Liquid to deal with in the end, and C9 going the road to victory here on map number 1, Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Into a Death Blossom to clean up any stragglers who were able to hide up under the bridge. Another Sleep Dart from Wolf found its target, so everyone playing very well there. That is going to be Cloud9 taking Gibraltar away from Liquid in this best of 5.
Again, C9 looking stronger than they did yesterday. Gotta love the new strength coming out of this team, and I love the part where normally we get to see play of the game and all the rest with the new time bank system, yet players still just bring it to lobby. Or actually, you brought it to lobby. You're the villain here. Kaikai was right.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're on Team Kaikai. I see how it is. I see how it is. If you want me to spend extra time in games and, you know, prolong these series, by all means, I will.
Play the game would have been cool to see. I don't know. I'm willing to give the extra like 20 seconds for play of the game.
I just forgot. That was my bad. Next time.
All right, so C9 or Liquid going to choose the map. We are going to King's Row, and why not? Liquid looked pretty darn dominant on King's Row when we saw them yesterday, but again, C9 certainly plenty of experience on that map. I don't think it's going to be a free ride for Liquid in the least. And also, interesting change up here. Cloud9 opting for the attack.
Yeah. I think it's because they're already on attack, and Kaikai doesn't trust me to be able to move them. It was very likely.
So you're saying it's a trust issue for Kaikai?
It is a trust issue.
Oh, man. Get together, Hex.
I'm trying.
You've lost Kaikai's trust. You're just doomed.
I know.
All right, so we are telling them we are ready. Next map will be underway. Cloud9 versus Liquid, heading to King's Row. C9 striking first blood, up 1-0 here in the series.
Now entering King's Row.
All right into it. Our lower bracket is still happening, by the way, so if you do see a team go out, we are mostly covering the upper bracket. So the teams that you see who lose in our upper bracket are still fighting it out in the lower bracket, too. So if you were a fan of FaZe, fear not, they are still in it, trying to fight their way back in.
And FaZe, if we saw them back in the Ultimate Grand Finals here, would not be surprised. I think they, of all the teams here, they definitely have a great possibility of fighting the way back up. But even then, you look at teams like Complexity. Complexity took 2 maps off Team Liquid earlier. It's just been a close day in general.
Yeah, I mean, the teams that we have on the upper half of this are just, they're all fighting each other very closely. I mean, right now, maybe it's just recency bias. This Cloud9 team looks really, really strong. I'm having a hard time picturing a team taking a best of 5 off of them, and that's because how well they played against FaZe, although it was very close. And that was a really good performance on Gibraltar, although Gibraltar is a traditionally Cloud9 map when they had their former 6, but apparently a map that still Kaikai and Adam and Surefour do enjoy.
And take a look here at this Liquid defense. As I said, it's going to be Mezar on the Reinhardt, the Hang on Ana, Minstrel on the Lucio, Rafa on Zarya, AZK on Reaper, and ID. This is interesting. He's coming out here on not an offensive Hanzo, but a defensive Hanzo, something you don't see as often. The teams are more than willing to run Hanzo on the attack, especially for first point, but Hanzo on the defense, this is a slightly different wrinkle.
You very rarely see Hanzos on both teams. So this is one of the first times I've seen it in a competitive match where we're going to see Hanzo versus Hanzo action. Also, Mendo it continues to run this Pharah, and running it on offensive Kings Row, not necessarily that surprising, but it does force them into a Mercy as well. So some interesting stuff.
Quite simply is the battle of geometry. The ID, very lucky didn't go down early on, was down to 3 HP, but is able to win that Hanzo on Hanzo battle, taking down Surefour. 2 quick strikes here from the side of Team Liquid, and the one thing about that, though, you can never get complacent defense for Kings Row because the offensive respawns, they are basically just right there.
Yeah, a nice couple kills there is going to give them some charges on their ults, though. Rafa was able to keep Mez alive as he got himself a little bit in trouble, but able to keep everyone alive on that Zarya as they rotate in around. So Mendo taking a little bit of a different angle here, not coming up over the top on Kings, which you generally see, but forcing them to, you know, rotate around to Statue, getting in a different position now.
This does put a lot of pressure on ID to shoot Mendo out of the sky. Not always the easiest task for Hanzo. Rib overextends a little bit, feeds a kill here to the side of Liquid.
Rafa.
But here comes Surefour and Kai. They pick off 2. Rafa is down, and now this is where Mendo should be able to roll in. A lot of space is created for him. Nothing should really be able to get him out of the sky super easily here. He's coming in over the top, in with the nano boost, holding on to the barrage, not using it just yet. A lot of control coming out for him right now, where just decides to use a normal left click on Minstrel. Grabs AZK. It's a double kill for Mendo, so slow and steady working out for C9 as they will get control of this point.
Extremely patient, and they ended up just bleeding a couple kills really late, did Liquid, so no way to be able to get back in here or in good position to defend. They're going to have to concede the point and hang out around second. Right now, though, ultimate battles are about to begin. Both Gravitons up, and since we have Hanzos on both sides, we could see a lot of dragons fighting here. Might be double dragon time.
It very well could be double dragon time, where you take a look at the Liquid side. They're going to have Graviton Surge into Dragon Strike, and they're going for it right here, right now. Here comes the Graviton, out comes the Dragon, and that Dragon was hungry, taking down 2 right away. But here's one thing I take a little bit of issue with here, Hex. Not only is the res coming in, I don't know if it's the best to burn your ults there, because even if you do get full wipe, the respawns are right there.
Yeah, I mean, the res is of course going to give them the advantage there. Mendo does come into the barrage, does not get much off it, but does soften everyone up. Rafa and Mez very far forward right now, trying to get some damage and cleaned up, though, as it is now still 6v4 for Cloud9 as they continue to clean up all the remnants of the cart. Minstrel's trying to stall this out, not for long, though. A full, complete team wipe from Cloud9, and look, they're almost going to have their resurrection again. They're
going to have res up again. The Kai very close to getting another Graviton up. I'm not sure if Surefour was going to wait for that Graviton to do his next Dragon Strike, but C9 definitely making the best out of that situation. Again, I just wonder if Liquid maybe should have given the C9 a little bit more rope there, let them come in a little bit deeper, and then punish them. They went in right at the gate, and I'm not sure if it was the best idea.
I mean, when you're fighting into a Mercy and you don't have a Mercy of your own, it's kind of hard to pick the time anyway, right?
All right, well, here comes Liquid moving in. Mezar just swinging the hammer off the nano boost, picks up 4. The finest WMS1 action, but there's the resurrection. C9 not out of here just yet, but Mezar isn't done yet. It sends Surefour packing once more. This has been the Mezar show, just hammer time all around, and it's not stopping.
It was on Gibraltar too. That's when they were most successful early on in fights. Is like I mentioned, Mez and AZK are just kind of the most steady players on this team, been on this roster for a very long time. Mez going very deep right now. They do take down Adam. Mez should be able to get out alive. Minstrel eats a stray arrow. Got to be careful now. You can't lose Mez out up here.
This is pretty aggro coming out here from Liquid, and C9 more than willing to counter, go in. I'm not sure they need to use Dragon Strike in the Graviton there, though. I mean, the Graviton did pick up 2 kills, but Liquid was so scattered that, again, maybe they could have saved those resources, but C9, they have bought themselves this point in all likelihood. I don't see Liquid coming back in, and C9's still on the verge of setting a pretty darn decent time here.
No, Mez unable to get out there because Rafa had switched off of his Zarya. Mez has relied on that Zarya to aid his retreat several different times, but it was only a Winston they were unable to do it as Rafa did switch. They're going to boost in Winston.
Mendo on the ID to start things out here. 5v5 right now on the point. Mendo, though, just slowly getting kill after kill. Drops down to 40 HP, gonna get healed up. Has Death Blossom mapped already, but going to be taking the dirt nap here. Mezar knocking people down, moving right in. And Mendo, he still goes for Death Blossom anyways, but doesn't get quite enough off of that.
Liquid seems to take it personally when teams try to escape. They do not like to let people retreat. You saw the Earthshatter there, perhaps getting too aggressive on some of those things again, but Rafa does jump into the backlines. He's going to pop Primal Rage to open up some space for his team as the cart was getting pushed pretty far.
Oh, he's trying. Did he get Reinhardt into the pit? Did he do it? He did! Rib goes into that pit. Rafa got his prize. That's what he was looking for, as AZK right now, holding on to his Death Blossom. But no shield tank here for C9. It's going to be hard for them to move in. They have to really kind of wait for Rib to get back into this fight.
Well, they are just going to boost AZK into the backlines. He takes down 2 immediately.
AZK looking for a little bit more. Not going to get what he's looking for, but when you take down 2 with that Death Blossom Nano combo, it buys you a lot of room and a lot of space. So for Liquid, they're going to hold down a little bit longer. And for them, I think if they take maybe 2 more team fights, even if they lose the map at that point, they'll be in an excellent position. C9 has 3 to 4 pushes left in them, and if they use their ults right, they have a really good chance of cleaning up the map. But look at that Deadeye immediately being answered here by what else other than Mezar's Earthshatter, but they don't quite get the kills they're looking for on a Kai. Gonna shield himself from that charge. It's 2 kills from C9, and now C9 with a golden opportunity. Mendo fighting here in the back versus McCree, gonna get that pick up with Kai. And now it's C9 with all the momentum in the world. Oh no, Rafa! D.Va herself does not have the jet boost to actually get out of that situation.
Yeah, Rafa on his 3rd tank of the stage so far. Started on Zarya, move it over to Winston, now on the D.Va as well. Apparently seeing something it needs to counter. They are running a couple hit scan over there, so not a bad switch off, but not working out so well as they do let the card in pretty far. But it is Mez again who starts it off with a kill. Does get boosted too.
Early kill comes out here from Mez. Mendo having the back out a bit, going to get taken out, not going to get a chance to counter with the Death Blossom and Liquid. A last gas coming in off the respawn. They're able to turn it right back in their favor. No small part from ID here, setting things up as the Mei, almost building another Blizzard up in the process. So it's all going to come down to this next fight here, Hex. What is going to reign supreme? Will it be Sound Barrier coming out from Liquid and a strong Russian, or will it be Kai setting up his team once more with the Graviton and the Nano Boost Death Blossom combo?
Yeah,
we'll find out in just a moment.
Speaking of strong Russian, Kai does have that Graviton ready, and they've been using Graviton to set up this Nano Boost. Here goes Mendo in the back lines.
Mendo rolling into the back, has the Nano Boost, gets absolutely nothing front to start things out. Does finally, though, get onto Minstrel, and Surefour is going to be up the cleanup, picking up 2 kills there, setting up the rest of C9. Final D.Va ultimate coming in from Rafa, not going to really connect. And now it is C9's map to lose. They should be able to cap this out here, Hex.
Just by a little bit of time. That is a clutch Blizzard from ID, though. Might be able to bring it back if they get a couple kills. They do not, though, as Kai continues to clean up, but it is buying more time. Still no kill feeds. Notifications for Liquid there, as Cloud9 will complete the map with a little shy of 30 seconds left.
Score.
I gotta say, both teams had their ups and downs in that map. I thought it was good on Liquid just to just be gutsy and buy as much time as they did. There's a few points there where I think they didn't do themselves any favors with how aggressive they were being. The biggest thing for me is when they used the Graviton Dragon Strike right at the archway. But other than that, kind of a good showing for both teams, and we'll see if Liquid now can come back and beat this time. Of course, last time we saw them against C9, they set an incredibly quick time when going forward here on King's Row.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they can channel that and do it again, because if they do, they're going to be in a much better position.
Yeah, I feel like the Graviton Dragon Strike is something you want to use after you maybe get a kill on Mercy. Now, that's easier said than done, as Mercy's generally hiding in houses. I'm sure that's our play of the game, actually, her staring at the wall during that resurrection. But per popular request, I'll show it to you at the end of the game. We'll see. It does not look like they're going to run a Mercy on the defense. It is only the offensive strategy for Cloud9. They are going to be running Mendo on the Mei, though, so a defensive Mei coming in. And yeah, I mean, the Overwatch meta, for all people who think like there's only a certain kind of way to play, we see Hanzos and Meis and all sorts of heroes. We saw every single tank last game too, so it is alive and well. Only one Hanzo on the field though, fortunately.
I'll say in general, I think the meta is in a much better shape than some players were complaining about, where there was a lot of doom and gloom where people were saying, oh, all it is 3-3, triple tank, triple support, but we've seen a lot of switch-ups and variations. I think you could probably rightly make the argument that Nano Boost might be a little bit over the top right now, but other than that, I don't know if Overwatch has had a meta where we've seen more hero variation than what we see now.
Well, I think Blizzard would agree with that argument, considering the changes that they're trying to make to it on the PTR. My suggestion has always been don't let the person under the effects of Nano Boost also gain ultimate, because I think sometimes when you have a Reinhardt who starts the match with an Earthshatter, then ends the fight with an Earthshatter, it's a little bit over the top, especially how powerful that ult is. But
or at the very least, don't give bonus ult, just make it as if it was a normal unboosted attack, something along those lines.
Yeah. But they do know that there's a Mei here on the defense, so they're going to rotate through Hotel. They do find good entry as that wall does not come up. So ID in the back line. They do trade out, though. There goes to Hang, there goes Mendo. Definitely a better trade for the offense.
It's a much better trade for the offense. Without the Mei there, it's going to be much harder for the defensive C9 to control things, and ID going to have way less in his way as he looks for these pickoffs. Mezar able to take down Rib. AZK in the back line. Everything coming up Team Liquid right now is C9 falling apart on this first point. Kings Row defense. Sure4's found out. I don't know if he's going to have any heroics here to save this point.
Yeah, Liquid checking their corners. They do find Sure4. That is the typical Reaper hiding spot. So anyone who plays Reaper on Kings Row can tell you that that's probably where the enemy Reaper is. They do end up cleaning up Sure4 after that, and it all started with a really nice kill onto Mendo with the Hanzo error from ID. They are going to come in and fight. The wall does come up, only segmenting them in half. Not the most impactful just yet.
You take a look at Adam right now. Adam just biding his time up here, trying to stall things out. But while this is happening, his team is dying below him. AZK and ID able to get the cleanup they're looking for. Someone at some point is going to have to deal with Adam, who is just parkouring in over the top. Finally loses his parkour. And everything going the way of Liquid. Though C9, they do stall out for a little bit longer, buy themselves maybe an extra 25-30 seconds, and I'm kind of okay with that just because you think about what we saw in the other defense. I don't know if you want to get in a team's face right at the archway. A little bit better to hold more, a little bit further up, just so if you do wipe them out, you buy yourselves a bit more time.
I feel they were trying to bait out some ultimates, but Liquid being very smart on it, that was unsuccessful as they did hold all their ults, and a big ultimate advantage coming into the streets phase of this. They've got their dragon combo up. Minstrel does have his sound barrier too, as he is lonely back pushing the cart. The life of Lucio, as it were.
I want to talk about how this next fight is going to work out. Mendo right now just looking to start a blizzard, as May would say. I think C9's going to be pretty aggressive here, but here we go. Graviton Surge coming out from Rafa. Rafa trying to be the first mover here. Dragon Strike moving in on top of it, but they only take out Kai. Sure4 doing work in the back. Mendo still holding on to this blizzard, but Hex might not even be needed as Liquid losing too many people has to back up, and C9 having them on the back foot, but counter engage coming from Ghost Shatter. I just don't know if it's going to be enough.
Well, it looks like they did not get the memo of backing up as they do throw alt after alt into this. The Blizzard does come down, freezes AZK, but not before he gets 2 kills. He does still live on the card as Minstrel keeps him alive, and Mez coming in on the tank. So now alt's being burned out on the other side too as Adam ends up being the recipient of the Ana boost.
Mezar coming in with that, ends up getting slept towards the end, but it buys enough space for AZK, moving in, gets the quad kill, finishing off with the stylish elbow, so that was very back and forth, but AZK, the one consistent point in that fight, able to bring things forward, and that was a 4 kill for Reaper that did not involve a Death Blossom, so good times, man. Good times.
When Liquid has looked good tonight, it is on Mez and AZK playing very well. Like, Mez will get a 4K, AZK gets a 4K. That is really when they've shined the most. Rafa's had his moments as well, but those two, as I mentioned before, when they're playing well, it's the best that Liquid plays.
The other thing, too, is it took a Houdini act there from AZK. He was frozen and then slept and still somehow got away at 30 HP.
Alive. Yeah.
But here we go, Liquid moving in once more. AZK just working his way to the back. Primary fires going wild, takes down Wolf, holding on to Death Blossom for now. And Liquid forcing C9 back once again, and this is a very good time for Liquid right now, even as Adam personally takes care of the AZK threats.
Well, they're flying right now. They do need to probably get out here. Mez is going to be on the retreat charge as they get away from all the incoming damage. Mendo does switch it up. He is on the Genji, but again, Liquid is going to have most of their ultimates up. Huge ultimate advantage. They've been just really smart about their economy on Kings Row.
All right, so we see Team Liquid grouping up once more. AZK, Nano Boost in. Death Blossom to the back line. Not getting as much as he wants, but he does set up a Rafa for 2 kills as Sure4 doing the same in the Team Liquid back line. A time to reap for both teams right now. Sure4 barely able to get away with his life. Both teams battered and bloody right now. This is AZK versus Sure4 here in the building. Mezar going to interrupt that one-on-one, taking it out. And Liquid coming out a little bit on top, but not with the crazy momentum they might need to finish this outright.
But they did have to burn a lot through there too, so not necessarily the closeout ults that they're looking for. Dragon does come out though, and Minstrel is looking to finish this fight as they sound barrier on the offense.
Minstrel takes down Kai, boops him off into the pit, and here comes Sure4 moving in, not able to get as much right away, but the Nano Boost was too much to deal with right in the end. It's a 3K for Sure4, making it 4. And that's the crazy thing about the combo is that even when your Death Blossom isn't getting as many kills as you might want, it's still a Reaper that does a lot of damage and is super fast at the very end.
It does so much damage that even when you're not getting kills, like it can chunk through a sound barrier to an extent. There's not a really great counter for it except run away.
All right, so next fight going to be underway here in just a moment. Mezar holding on to the Earth Shatter could set his team up well right now. This is a brief window here where Liquid has an ult advantage. That window will be going away as soon as Kai just builds up the Graviton. Now it shifts to C9. Kai can set his team really well here. Graviton get come in, pulls in all 5, and Kai being his own fall through, going to the back line with Ribbon sure for C9 collapsing and getting the full team wipe at Team Liquid's expense.
Well, I mean, silver lining, Liquid didn't use any ultimates. I don't know if they had really a chance or a time to do so, and they are going to have, you know, the spin-to-win combo coming up to hang an AZK at 100%. Rafa about to get there too, so their economy still looks pretty well as far as their ultimates go. It looks pretty healthy, so they're going to have 3 pushes left to finish out this map. Again, Cloud9 did finish with 30 seconds left.
All right, the next fight is underway. We see Surefour going to the backline with that nano boost, takes down 2. AZK, though, taking down 2 in turn. Both Reapers powered up. AZK with 3, Surefour with 2. And Surefour, I don't know if he's biting off more than he can chew here, going highly deep, but it works out. Still able to take out AZK, despite AZK having that Ana support. So, take a look at it time-wise now. Cloud9, about 2 good team fights away from taking King's Row away from Team Liquid.
Again, 90 seconds remain. They are going to have Graviton, and then ID can maybe get a Deadeye going. Deadeye on last point of Kings can be super effective sometimes, but I'm really looking at Mez. He's been the one who's been carrying this team when they need giant plays, him and AZK. Here comes the grab.
ID coming in with the Deadeye, falling through, does take down Wolf, and does a lot of damage to the Reinhardt shield in the process. But it's Kai Mendo turning it back around. Kai has a Graviton up once more. Might use it to finish out this fight, but if he can save it, it's going to be even better, Hex, because Cloud9 now, 1 major team fight away from taking this map, and their war chest will have Nano Boost, will have a Graviton Surge. Team Liquid is going to need a truly Herculean effort to win this map now.
It's going to be tough. They're going to have Ana Boost. So Ana Boost is very capable of doing a lot of things. They probably Ana Boost AZK, probably get a Death Blossom off of it because he's at about 20% away, so it should be doing enough, but they're going to have to push into Surefour already with the Ana Boost on his Reaper.
This is a little over aggro here. They didn't have the Graviton out. I don't know about this. This is... C9 might have just let Liquid back into this game because now they're going to have a nano boost of their own. Kai has to look for a good Graviton here. Doesn't want D.Va to end up inadvertently eating it. Earthshard knocks down 3 in the back. Here comes the Graviton, sets up Surefour for the double kill. Moving in, C9 recovering from their nano boost snafu. And with 10 seconds remaining, that should be GG in favor of Cloud9.
I think they were just looking to end it with that boost on the Reaper and just not work out. A really nice disengagement from Liquid, but they're not even going to be able to get to the cart, not able to touch it. And this Cloud9 team getting better and better and able to recover from mistakes, because I like that Ana Boost Reaper was an attempt to win the game, did not work out, but still able to bring it back the way they did was brutal. That's got to be just like demoralizing to see a team make a mistake and then have it not cost them at all.
Well, they're leveling up before our eyes, which is really the interesting thing about this. I'll play the game coming out here from Adam.
Yeah.
This is basically Mercy on King's Row 101.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mercy getting a drink in the pub, casually reses up her entire team.
I knew it as soon as the res came off. I'm like, we're going to be watching that later, and I know exactly what wall I'm going to be staring at.
I love how just staring at a wall, too. It just, Mercy, I like to imagine she has a drink in hand, just, you know, contemplating life in a UK pub where, I will say, being to the UK recently, they do have incredibly good deals on pints. Like, honestly, for most of your meals, it's like, all right, you can get fish and chips with a soda for £5 and 10 pence, or you could get it with a pint for like $5.50. You're just like, really?
Yeah,
when I was UK things.
When I was in Prague, it was always literally cheaper to buy Pilsner Kel than it was water, because I think they just have like the entire city's just like wired with it infrastructure. Oh. Everyone's got a pipe.
Or when you go to Cologne and it's nothing but Kolsch. Kolsch? Do you want Kolsch? If you're like, it is almost cult status in Cologne. They will make you drink Kolsch whether you want to or not. All right, so next map has been decided. It's going to be Eichenwalde. Cloud9 versus Liquid, and we'll see if Cloud9 wants to take the attack again. If they say defense here, Hex, I actually think they're just doing it because they don't want you to swap sides and mess something up.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
We'll find out here in just a moment, but again, C9 looking really strong. This was not the case yesterday when Cloud9 and Liquid faced off. It was a very different situation.
Cloud9 won Gibraltar, right?
Cloud9 did win Gibraltar. It is 2-0 right now in favor of C9. They're one map away from sending Liquid to the lower bracket.
Yeah, sorry, the bracket's just been misreported. That's why I'm confused. So, yeah, if you do hit bracket, that is wrong. Cloud9 is up 2-0 at the moment. FaZe did beat Rise Nation in the lower bracket. Our best of threes continue. Tempo now out of it as Complexity takes down Tempo. So those two teams have had a little bit of history back for when Tempo was NG Red and Complexity able to 2-0 them. So even though our best of fives are going pretty far, we are definitely going through the lower bracket at fast pace. FaZe versus Complexity.
Normally we hold lower bracket round 3. I think just because the first set went too long, I'm going to tell them if they have an array to just start on that and we will hop in after because it's one of those nights there. This might be a long, long night otherwise.
Yeah, okay. You're in charge. I'm only the guy who makes the settings wrong, but it is going
okay.
To
So Kai did choose defense, by the way, Hex. So this theory getting more steam by the moment, just so you know. Or maybe they just like defense and Eichenwalde. I personally like the don't trust Hex theory.
Fine with it. The less APMs I have to do, I'm fine with that. They want to stay on defense, I'll just hit the start button whenever. So we are ready. Did you get that message out? You ready to go?
I am ready to go. Let's start.
Getting mocked on Twitter all over the place. Man, what a rough night. Just going to put on Tombstone and go to bed. That's all I want to do.
Tombstone again?
I generally like put on movies that I've seen. I usually watch movies more than once. Maybe I actually like Tombstone and it's all been a ruse. I'll give it another chance. I will. I've heard it's great. I watched it. I disagreed. But anyway, we are on Eichenwalde here. And it is going to be Cloud9 on the defense first. So right now they are running Adam on a Mercy, but no Pharah to be seen. So a little bit of an interesting conversation. It will be interesting to see if Mendo does switch up and go to that Pharah. He's been their Pharah player, but he's on the Mei, which makes a ton of sense on Eichenwalde defense, able to really deny that entry. Kind of a similar position to King's Row defense, where you can just completely shut a gate.
And we've seen Maze just in general have really noteworthy games here on Eichenwalde, where it's already a difficult map for the offense on point A, as anyone who has done any sort of pubs in this map can attest, where teams just don't always have their stuff together. But even in comp, it's a tough road to get through, so Mendo just going to be looking to control things out the Mei, split off Team Liquid when possible and go from there. But you take a look at Team Liquid, they are opening up with this Pharah Gambit, so coming in from ID not going to be bound by constraints of the Mei wall, and definitely not one to underestimate, as there was a point where Liquid had a lot of success, in no small part due to ID being at the helm with his Pharah play.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes for that huge flank around the side that we've seen a little bit before, if he just goes all the way to the right and ends up behind the opposing team too. I mean, running this combo and then running both of these flank heroes, this is a really cool looking offense, at least on paper.
So, ID right now, hanging out in the back.
Enemies detected.
Going for a little bit of poke. And the cool thing about Pharah here is that Pharah has the mobility to not just come in over the archway, but can take other angles. But ID going for the direct approach, going right in. And C9 giving up a lot of space for this opening here. I'm not so sure about this. Liquid really opening them up.
Yeah, Rafa on the Genji in the backlines takes down Adam, which is brutal if you're running a Mercy on defense like that because you're hoping for the resurrection. Mendo does take down AZK, so it's a little bit back and forth right now, but still no answer for ID as he is getting Mei blasted, actually frozen a little too close to the icy heart of Mei as Kai finishes him off. It looked really good to start out for Liquid, but some clutch plays out of Mendo, freezing a lot of the DPS, bringing it back.
It was Mendo and Kai just being the Bash brothers of C9 there, able to put things back in their favor, so recovering from what could have been a very ugly start. This is where you want to buy a lot of time here in Eichenwalde. If you let the offense get in first, it's rough as ID almost getting just dunked immediately there. Lots of poke coming into him. He's going to get healed up though. Here he goes, ID to the backline once more, and Surefour just dropping him instantly. Nano boosted McCree in the house. And he is just rolling through this backline. A triple kill for Surefour, and Minstrel going to be making Surefour's fourth. As ACK the flick! He could have just let ACK live to tell stories, but no. Takes out ACK for good measure.
tell everyone you
My
met
goodness.
short for on Eichenwalde. That was just crushing. I briefly asked to myself, are they going to res? But then Dahang took a bullet to the brain, so that was no longer an option. Now, next part of the game is going to be ultimate phases here, as everyone just about nearing 100%. They do rotate in right side. Everyone gets in for Liquid Clean.
They do get in clean. Surefour under pressure in the back. Will take out Rafa, though. Rafa was going for the early McCree pick, wasn't able to get it. And now let's take a look at Surefour. He is creeping around the back, getting a little bit of help before using a Deadeye. AZK trying to fish him off at 50 HP. McCree is super, super weak. And ID over the top. Barrage coming in, takes down 3 before falling himself. Liquid starting to streamline this point, but we'll see if it's enough as to hang with the res, trying to bring it up even more. Res is on both sides, really.
Yeah, just very patient play there because they waited for the res to come out. Actually forced the res out by getting a couple kills, and then they barraged into it, knowing that barrage is an ultimate ability that you're likely not going to live through. That's just how it works for Pharah at these high levels of play. So bringing him back to life with your own resurrection, just patiently timed ultimate game for Liquid, keeping them alive in it. They are switching off the Mercy immediately. They put Dahang onto Ana instead. ID does switch onto McCree, so they're still running 3 DPS. The Rafa dying to Mendo, who was hey, that's a Soldier 76 sighting.
My ultimate is charged.
It is a 76 sighting, where I think part of the method is, well, I'm not sure this method is, but I think it's the main thing. He just wanted to get back to the point early and wasn't able to do it, so swapped off.
Yeah.
It would be cool to see a 76 here on this phase, but just hard to justify 76 right now, where poke damage is, at least in the way that Soldier does it, is kind of weak right now in the meta. Here we go, next fight taking place here on top of the ramparts. ID with the first pick off on the Wolf, rolling his way in, getting the fan on Zarya. Surefour, though, fighting right back, 2 kills for the defense, and ID gonna have to retreat as Liquid taking more of a payload-focused approach here, but they're still giving up even more ground to C9. Is C9 really stabilizing?
Yeah, sure, if we're taking out his other number in ID. I totally agree with like the 76 point. If it were, I think he's fine on this map. Again, anytime you have a golf like this, I think they would actually like to run 2 McCrees if they were allowed to. Unfortunately, no, so Mendo does go onto a more tank-heavy composition. AZK onto the Reaper now. They do boost Mez up top, trying to take this high ground away.
Mezar, that is one crazy Winston leaping in, just looking to knock people in and around. ID taking down Surefour, though, so it opens up an opportunity for 2 kills here for the side of Team Liquid. ID at the good positioning on the top. Not going to challenge Yana directly, though he could have with the sound barrier. It's still working out pretty darn well here for Liquid. They're keeping the momentum they need, and C9, maybe they'll get a chance to hold things back on second.
Yeah, Mendo did come up on the 76 again. Maybe that was just to reinforce, but he dies almost immediately. This has been all Liquid. A lot of it is just because of all of the chaos they caused with their boosted Winston up top. He knocked everyone out of there, and you have a plan until you get punched by a primal raging Winston. Then it's everyone scramble for your lives here. Are they even going to be able to get in? They're rotating right. It's a hard area to defend. There comes the Ice Wall.
Ice Wall is going to come out here. And look at AZK, he's just standing up top, waiting to go in the defense, dropping right down. Death Blossom in, takes out one, ends up getting the triple kill. People literally walked into him because they were trying to stop the payload, and AZK getting served up here, ends up with 5, and Liquid now getting a lot of momentum. But here is the rub here, Hex. What is going to go forward here is arguably Liquid's best attempt to finish out this map, because the gate is going to open here on this map, but that gate closes as soon as the payload moves forward, so dangerous times here for Liquid.
Yeah, especially since you're pushing into a team that is running a May, can just completely lock you out here. That gate does ominously close down behind them. He's trying to charge in.
The gate wastes no time in closing back up, and here comes the defense. I don't know about that for Liquid. I think Liquid probably should have waited till everyone was together, or at least wait till Mezar is back, because they didn't have all 6 there as they got through the gate, and now they wasted what was a really good opportunity. Just definitely a misplay there from Team Liquid.
Yeah, so entry becomes just at a premium here on this last point of Eichenwalde. A point of contention with a lot of the competitive and pro players is how do we even get in on Eichenwalde, especially against a Mei, and that is going to be the question they have to answer now. They're not going to have a bunch of ultimates to be able to do it. I think you get behind your Reinhardt and hope, but a lot of times you're just going to be cut in half, and Surefour is just going to hang out, wait for them to get in, and shoot them in the back. Here comes Mez, getting shot in the back. Hauled in, shot in the back.
Speaking of backline stuff, ID has worked his way in to the right, relatively undetected, looking for the Ana, has to reload at an unfortunate timing, not gonna get the pick off, so Ana living the fight another day, ID having the back out, and we have the Earth Shadow right now coming in from Rib on the defense, taking Rafa for a ride. AZK not able to get this pick off of the Rib. Rib giving him the runabout. Finally, AZK takes him out, but he had to expend so much time on that Hex.
He does live. He ends up taking out Wolf 2, eats the soul as well. So this is as clean as a fight as they can expect here. Mendo trying to get out, does die to Mez though. So Mez and AZK again showing up to getting the clean entry here. Now they've got the cart pretty far. It does open up the next entry a little bit easier for them too. At least the debris of the cart is out of the way as they rotate here to the final push.
Let's take a look at this from AZK. AZK does have Death Blossom here and at the ready. He's just waiting for that speed boost to be the go signal. He's going to move to the back line. Minstrel will enable this. Sound Barrier, speed boost, Death Blossom. That's going to be the tail of this next fight. If Liquid has anything to say about it, they're just really taking their time. As the Nano Boost going to be coming in first here from the side C9. Surefour going to backline, but he's going to get slept. Not getting what he's looking for, and AZK, the counter Death Blossom is in. Ends up taking out 2, and Liquid keeping up the momentum as they are trying to cap out what is a very hard map to actually cap out on, Hex.
They've got Earthshatter too. It's a closeout ultimate. He's going to be waiting for people to come in and just slam it down. He does lock down the right side. Mendo able to get in though. They are trying to finish this out. Here comes a Graviton. Can Cloud9 restabilize?
They're trying to restabilize, but Mezar has other plans. Swings the hammer, knocks down 3, looking for a 4th. He is just having a hammering good time all around the payload. And that is going to be Team Liquid finishing it out with 13 seconds remaining, which means they do assure themselves at least an extra minute for another attack should C9 be able to finish this out.
Really nice disengagement there too. We talk about like how Mezar and AZK got a lot of kills there, but when they sent Surefour at them with the Ana boosted ultimate, they disengaged, pulled back, and Minstrel had that sound barrier ready and waiting for him, completely denying that. Then they flipped the script on him, sent in their own Reaper, went back on it. So the disengagements in this meta right now, the Reaper boosted meta, being able to run away is extremely valuable, and running away correctly wins people fights. That's what you saw there. Then once it's over, then they have the Reaper in a rough position, able to turn the tide on them, and that's exactly what happened there. So good play by the supports. Minstrel with the disengage speed boost and the disengage barrier, keeping them alive.
All right, so take a look at the defense for Liquid as it comes out. They're going to be... Well, this is interesting. Is this actually... Wow. All right, so normally Mezar is known for playing Reinhardt, and more Reinhardt, and usually it's one of the DPS players that would swap here, but no, it's going to be Mezar coming out here on the Mei. The only tank they're going to be running here is Rafa on the Winston, so interesting approach to first point Eichenwalde defense coming out here from the side of Liquid.
Yeah, that is super interesting. We'll see if it works out for him. I mean, just they're running this defensive Pharah too, which, I mean, Liquid, when they were doing really well, it was because their combo is one of the best combos in the games, in my opinion. To Hang and ID play this really well together and are very familiar with each other, very comfortable playing together. But Mei is kind of one of those heroes that runs a little bit like she can play tank-ish, does a lot of the same things, controlling area, cutting off paths, and things like that. But yeah, definitely interesting stuff. On the other side, they're running a combo of their own. They're going to throw in a Genji in there and a Pharah in there. So yeah, a lot of heroes getting a lot of love tonight. All we need is like an offensive bastion on Route 66, and I'll be happy.
That's a very specific request, X. I just gotta say that. Like, that's actually an enormously specific request. Harkening back to the old days, just like, no, all I need is just like this one thing on one map that we never, like, just that and I'll be happy. It's like, Hex, you might not be happy tonight. Gotta spoiler alert.
Dream big.
Oh man, but here we go. Defense of Liquid underway, and ID not wasting any time, going right to the back, putting Wolf under a lava salt, gonna take down that Ana, stopping C9 from getting an early nano boost here, so aggressive defense from Liquid, and it's paying off.
Yeah, they went for the giant flank with this combo on the offense with their Pharah and Mercy. They are still alive on the point, though, this Pharah-Mercy combo. So it is going to be an air war right now, but Mendo does go down to Mez hitting a beautiful icicle. There goes Adam.
Mezar coming in with the double kill on Mei. Again, usually see him on Reinhardt, but his Mei play right now, definitely pretty impressive with how he's starting things out. Liquid operating multiple cylinders. We're going to have Blizzard and Barrage up for the next fight, and C9, even though they have 3 minutes, it kind of feels like they're already in a bit of a hole.
And Mez is not the first name you think of when you think of Team Liquid, just because of all the known commodities and the all-stars they have here, but he's been the best player on this team tonight, the most consistent, and not only doing it on Reinhardt and tanks, showing off that he's got this DPS aim on the Mei as well.
Definitely does. Mei just hanging in and around right now. Blizzard will be coming out at some point. ID taking out Adam in the backfield, so this might let Mezar save that Blizzard, but here we go. Ice Wall's out. Going to be splitting off Liquid once more. This is a perfect Blizzard opportunity with 3 people grouped up. And Mezar for now just holding on to it. I think he feels like he can get away with not using it, and he does! Just right-clicking Rib right down. ID coming back in over the top on the Kai. But they pay a price for saving ults that long. Because now you take a look at this, the Resurrection is up, Mendo's gonna be in a great position for a barrage, and Mezar not gonna be back to fight for a while, so yeah. So this works out, but Mendo, barrage, Justice Ring from above, takes down AZK, does damage to Moore, and now C9 potentially on the verge of turning this back in their favor.
The tempo res they used a little bit early was kind of odd. They killed the Mercy, so I think they thought they were gonna have it up in time for the next fight. Mez coming in here with the Blizzard does take down Kai. He's doing his best to at least stall it out, but it's a hard point to reinforce and get more bodies back here. Just buying a little bit of time, but that is going to be the end of first point defense for Liquid as they look to stage up onto the high ground, conceding that first point here, but this is where you want to hold on high ground. ID does switch over. They are still running the Mercy, but ID now on the McCree instead.
Yep, and Mezar back on the Reinhardt, and I will say, just looking at that, I do wish Mezar had used the Blizzard just a little bit earlier there. I mean, I understand ult economy and trying to save things to maximum, but Blizzard recharges really quickly. I'd rather just save like a barrage and go for the earlier Blizzard in those situations, but either way, it was still a pretty good defense coming out from Liquid. They are certainly ahead on time, and we'll see if they can keep up the momentum going in here in the second point.
Endo with a late switch here is going to be changing onto the offensive Reaper. Liquid looking to collapse on their defense.
Sound Barrier coming in from Minstrel, and they're going to use the Sound Barrier to be even more aggressive into C9. ID taking down Mendo. It's a 64 advantage here for Liquid, and they use the high ground advantage to great effect here in Eichenwalde, but here we go. Dragon Blade coming out late into the fight. It is Surefour with that. Gets taken out immediately, though, so still a pretty good hold coming out here from Liquid, and a late tempo res, no less.
The counter res, because there was a really beautiful res from Adam to bring his team back late. They got a couple kills post res to bring it back, but the Hang held on his for a while. The late Graviton, are they going to get value out of it? Starts off with 2.
They are going to get value off that. Sets up Surefour to go right in. Good Swift Strikes come in from him. Already built up almost 40% of an ultimate. So C9 making up for some lost time here. However, you take a look at Liquid's next defense. They will have Death Blossom, Deadeye, and Earthshatter all up and at the ready. So AZK gonna be looking to be a dagger right now, just going straight up and in. There might not be breaks in this train, X.
Yeah, it kind
He's going in, going right to the back line. AZK, Death Blossom going in, takes down Wolf, looking for a little bit more. It's gonna be 3 quick kills here from Liquid, and they reset things back. Gonna force C9 out as Kai takes a leap of faith, not wanting any more to do with that fight.
Yeah, I mean, he had the utmost faith that he was going to die if he jumped there. I'm not sure that's what a leap of faith is, but they are going to be able to hold this high ground back again. Card is going to slowly move back, so a complete reset on both sides. Ultimate advantage does look to be slightly in favor of Liquid here. No longer running the resurrection mechanic for Cloud9 too, so deaths are going to be permanent. So if the Hang can stay alive, it should be a great advantage for Liquid.
Rib right now getting put on a ride. Mezar, the Earthshatter knocks down 2, sets up Liquid very well here. Liquid into the back line with the follow through. Rib and Mendo still trying to follow through, but the Resurrection is out right now for the defense. It will let Liquid hold, and now for C9. C9 down to maybe 1 to 2 more pushes left here. 1 really long push, 2 quick pushes.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's going to come down to, will we get the heroics from Mendo and Surefour? And actually, you know what I'd like to see here? I would actually like to see a nano boosted Genji ult. I think Surefour could make a pretty good use out of it. And that's exactly what's going to happen. C9 heard me. Surefour going to the back line. Gets 1, gets 2, looking for more. It's a triple kill from Surefour, making the most of that nano boost. And it works out. And the reason why is that Surefour had much better verticality options there than Mendo did, especially with how they're positioning. So that was how I was going to finish my thought, but it happened before I could even finish. So thank you, Surefour, for making me look smart.
Yeah, it's like you watch a lot of Overwatch or something. You kind of have a good sense.
Oh my goodness.
But they are at the moment.
It was just good game sense from C9, honestly.
Yeah, it was definitely a good combo to use, and now they're still going to have the Death Blossom as they push in forward. So you can combo this with the Graviton up. They've had the combo lead for a little bit. AZK is about to near his on the defensive side, but right now kind of scrappy before this gate closes. An artificial gate put up behind. Here comes Grab.
Graviton comes in, Mendo looking for the follow through, is able to take out Rafa with the aid of Surefour, and still, it's C9 with all momentum. And don't forget right now, if C9 is able to somehow bring this back and cap this out, they will win the map and win the series, so a lot at stake here from C9, though AZK definitely putting a bit of a damper on their party right now as he picks up 3.
Dahang dying is really tough for, but AZK trying to gut it out. Dahang did have Resurrection ready, was taken out early on there. They're going to try to continue this fight and prolong it as they're trying to get these tanks back into the fray. Shore4 does join the fight, and now the numbers are starting to look really good for Cloud9. Tempo Res comes in, though, to bring back Liquid into this fight.
They bring back Liquid, they bring back AZK. AZK only gets Adam off that death loss, immediately punched by Mendo. It's a scrappy fight here, but here comes Shore4. The blade unleashed once more, looking for Mercy in the back. Dahang, no more reses for you, says Shore4. Dashes in and out of the blizzard.
Saw that.
Some good Genji mobility there from Shore4 as C9 will stabilize, and this is going to be their last major good attempt here. We'll see if they can bring this right to the end.
To have what they want, they're going to have Spin to win just about ready. Wolf and Mendo can combine to lock this out with the spinning top of death that is Reaper. AZK is going to hide in the corner. No ultimates incoming for Liquid. Maybe Minch will get a sound barrier halfway through this fight.
We'll have to see. Mendo right now, Law's going to be on his shoulders right now. He will get the nano boost. We'll see if there's a good response. There's no Ana, though, on the defense, so they're not going to be able to sleep dart Mendo. You have to do it the old-fashioned way. Mendo going to the back. Reinhardt Shield stopping a decent amount of it, but he still picks up one. Looking for the second. Gets completely juked out by Dahang, but Dahang not able to build a res. He was 95% Hex. Herculean effort, but here comes C9. And they cap this, and now we are going to go into the overtime rounds here, where C9, again, remember, they end up winning this. That's going to be it. They will win the series, so really good stuff coming out from C9, and they're bringing it to the limit. 2 seconds faster than Liquid, in fact.
I mean, as well as Cloud9's been playing, I don't think anyone would expect a 3-0 over Liquid. I mean, just looking at it like 2 days ago, if you told me that Cloud9, with whatever roster they're running was going to have to play Liquid, I'd be like, well, Liquid's going to win that one. But this Cloud9 team is getting better and better every time. Liquid, I think, has looked best so far on this map. They seem to, was their map choice. They seem to have good strategies and plans on it, but it is still just kind of the raw DPS and clutch moments coming out from this Cloud9 team. That the Genji boost was a great way to break through the top, never really slowed down after that, and it was just a lot of Liquid clawing back, trying to keep fights close. Dahang getting picked off a couple times at 95%, died twice with 95%, not necessarily on the Mercy, but if you're going to run Mercy and you're not getting the reses when you absolutely need them, that's going to be putting yourself in a rough spot. So 102 in the time bank versus 1 minute in the time bank as we try to decide who was the winner of Eichenwalde.
So take a look at the defense as it comes out here from the C9 side. They're not running the Mei this time. They're just putting Mendo on the McCree, and I think this is a little bit of mind gaming going on here where they're thinking that ID is coming in on the Pharah. Oh. Just when you think you've gotten out of it, Hex.
I was trying to ignore it. Why? And like, I know it's not, and I'm like, now I'm worried. Now that you mentioned it, I'm worried.
All right, well, we're taking a look at Mendo right now. He's not going to have a Pharah to shoot at. ID going more the tried and true, the Reaper up the middle. And really, Liquid just going straight up the gut here, but they're getting responded to in kind. Rafa already down. Shore4 taking down Mezar. C9 bending, not breaking, and Liquid already going to find themselves down to their final push here in just a moment. This not working out for them. And they're also going to be running to potentially C9 ults towards the end of the next fight, so not a great opening here. I think they're going to need Rafa or AZK to just have a huge moment here on these double flankers, because C9 played that pretty darn well.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here, but they do have kind of the heroes that they need to be able to get in and stall this out and win a fight. But last fight incoming, you cannot start a fight that way. Wolf kills ID immediately.
Wolf is able to take down ID right away. Rafa right now sitting in and about. C9 with the first 2 kills. They are doing it right now. Hex, they just need a little bit more as Shore4 gets the final cleanup. So, Cloud9 now with the ability to end the series with 1 good offensive push. They only have 1 minute and 2 seconds to do it. But Liquid absolutely in the hot seat here. If I had to guess, I still think that this is probably going to end up in a draw because it's really hard to take this in 1 push. But with everything going C9's way today, I would not count them out.
It's hard to bet against them, right? Even in this dire situation with one good push onto Eichenwalde and 1 kind of scrappy push towards the end. Yeah, it's really hard to doubt Cloud9 at all. This I thought was going to be Liquid's map just based on how well they were playing early on it, but Cloud9 able to take it back, force this into a second half, into overtime time bank situations. And it does look like they're not really running anything divey or flanky, just looking to go pretty standard here.
I think you see this a lot where teams, they have their backs against the wall. They don't try for anything too crazy here. I think there's a point where you see teams more willing to go, oh, we just have to hold for 1 minute. Let's go for the, like, surprise bastion. And teams, I think, a little bit more restrained here. Although the weird thing is, Mezar coming in the Reinhardt, he did a great job on Mei. I feel like the way Liquid was doing their first defense was actually pretty darn solid. So, I don't know. This might be a little bit too safe coming up from them. I guess we'll have to see.
It is kind of odd after all the interesting stuff we saw on both sides that we're just going to run this into a mirror match at the very final fight for Eichenwalde.
Alrighty, so offense coming in here once more. C9, 2 big attempts at this if their first attempt fails pretty quickly, and look at Liquid. Liquid more than content to give them a lot of space here. And let's take a look at Mendo right now, creeping around to left side. Not able to land those shots on the Lucio. Both teams being very tentative. I think they both realize what is at stake here, so it almost feels like both a little bit scared, just waiting for that right opportunity. But time is draining out here, and this is not good for C9. C9 effectively down a push here, so it's make or break for C9. If they lose the push out, they're almost certainly going to lose the fight. And they're down Mendo to start things out. First pick from ID. ID making it a double kill, putting Liquid on his back, and only 15 seconds remain.
There were some nice sleep darts there, but I think they didn't necessarily have the follow-up on it, unable to get the kills after they had a couple really nice darts, one in specific onto...
That's again the point here. Kai just has to throw his body here and be in martyr status. Sound Bear get him up, he'll keep him alive at least for a little bit longer. C9 trying to keep the dream alive. Here comes the Pulse Bomb, will pull in 2. They do get a little bit of extra fall through, but it's AZK. Death Blossom taking down both Mendo and Sure4. The tank play of C9 is pretty good, but will it be good enough to pull them through this? Survey says probably not, Hex.
Oh, they have an Ana ultimate. Rib does take down a couple with Earthshatter.
Hang on! Rib and Kai coming back in. Are they going to do this without Mendo and Sure4?
Another beautiful sleep dart.
Is this actually happening? I don't believe what I'm seeing right now.
I believe
Liquid, it's now Liquid on the hot seat, trying to get back in at the last moment. Graviton surge from Kai sets up Mendo and Sure4 for 2 kills. Oh my goodness, the Pulse Bomb.
That's not just a Graviton, that's another Graviton from Kai, who's been absolutely clutch. Like, I cannot believe how well he's playing here. He's been in perfect position, helping his team out. They're just scrambling onto the point, but it is a march of death for Liquid onto this point as Cloud9 is taking Eichenwalde away from them.
I usually wait till the last moment before making calls because I don't want a moment like that to happen, but that was ridiculous that Rib and Kai able to bring that back. Again, they were down their DPS core there. That's not a situation where you really would expect things to be brought right back, but it happened. C9 takes Eichenwalde. There is no draw, and we are going to see C9 move on to the grand final. Liquid getting knocked into the lower bracket.
This is 3-0'd Liquid. This brand new Cloud9 team. This was the play you called.
Used up all my good call cred here and then wasted it at the very end. How do I feel about that?
Yeah, we've all been there. It happens. So, like, yeah, you've casted enough Overwatch where it's 99% on some things, and you're like, all right, it's 99.
Well, you still get burned by the 1%. Yeah, it does happen, but I gotta take the L there because Rib and Kai just came in absolutely huge. Just unbelievable stuff from them, and
it was, to me, it was all Kai. Just, I mean, he had to throw himself in. He kept himself alive. There was a moment where Wolf was just about dead after he hit that really nice sleep dart, but Kai jumped in front of him, was able to he's just always keeping people alive. And this goes back to several maps ago, too, that he's just always in position to help his team. He's been one of the best supports on that team. And the question I had about this Cloud9 team was Wolf playing an unfamiliar role in support, and Kai is just helping him out. He's the support inside Zarya right now, and he's been absolutely killing it. 2 Gravitons to finish out that map. Graviton does not charge fast, and Kai just...
No, it doesn't charge fast unless you're going crazy like Kai just did, and just did all sorts of damage towards the end. And again, I just want to note that that was down to tank and support play for C9, and they came through in the clutch. Usually you see a lot of hero moments from Mendo and Sure4, but my goodness, Kai and Rib sending Liquid down. And now there is another matchup that we are going to get into here. We're going to take a short break and get into FaZe versus Complexity, which is going on as we speak.
Maybe. Yeah, that's still going on.
Yeah, so it would be weird if they finished it up that quickly. Even a quick 3-0 would be a little bit strange. But we're going to take a short break, guys, about 5 minutes as we see what's going on there. We'll hop into that one midway through. This is the Alienware Monthly Melee. Cloud9 surprising us all a little bit there with a very decisive victory over Team Liquid. But we'll be back after a short